can I ask you something? Did you ever have a special moment in your life? And if so, do you remember it? Do you remember the day, the time, the place, the weather, the smell, the person, even the atmosphere? But most importantly, do you remember how it felt? That sting, that rush coursing through your brain. Well, I don't, and I want it back. Doesn't matter how long it takes, or how far I need to go. Because if it's special to me, there has to be a reason why. And I'll chase it down to the ends of the earth, just to feel it again. And hey, if you stick along for the ride, you just might find what you're looking for. Movies! Everyone knows what a movie is. Everyone likes it. Don't even try to lie to me, okay? I like movies. And I also like cartoons. Hell, I made 2 videos talking about them. What, you think I didn't want to do it? What, do you think I was just doing it for the views? No. I uploaded those videos about cartoons because I liked it! Hell, I loved it!
I'm just itching. I'm itching to do it again.
But anyways, I like movies, and I also like cartoons. 2 completely different medias occupying my brain. That would probably most likely just stay that way for a while. But what if we're able to combine both of these things together to make something new, something better? Also, I'm here too, by the way, hi. Cartoon movies, that's what we're talking about today. Just gonna get straight to the point with this one, not even gonna waste your time. Specifically, I'm gonna be talking about cartoon specials of movies. I really love these, man, because these will never not feel like an event. Where you go from your usual 10 or 20 minute episodes flat screens to hour-long widescreens, with it usually always turning out for the best, with gorgeous animation and storytelling. So basically, I just want to talk about some of my favorite ones, or ones I just kind of found. Sorry, I don't watch a lot of TV. So today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of these, but I must clarify that I'm only going to be talking about theatrical releases only. But without a further than ado, let's get into this video. Of course, we have to start off with the one that kind of caused me to do all this in the first place. The SpongeBob movie is an iconic childhood classic, regardless of your age. So the plot of this one is that Mr. Krab gets framed by Plankton for stealing King Neptune's crown. So SpongeBob and Patrick have to go to Shell City to retrieve the crown before Mr. Krab fucking dies. The SpongeBob movie is one of those movies where I liked it even more as an adult. This shit's like fine wine, it only gets better with age. The whole plot serves as a really great setup for a movie-length adventure, but the thing I loved most about it was during the last 30 minutes where SpongeBob and Patrick were in the human world, which, I don't know, I just found it really cool. Oh, except for this part when they had this diver that scared the shit out of me as a kid. Remember that time when SpongeBob and Patrick were put underneath that lamp? Like, I'm not even joking, I genuinely remember I cried so much to the point where my parents had to come in and turn it off. I know they made a lot more theatrical released movies, but I just didn't watch them in time for this video. My bad, guys. But enough about SpongeBob. I think it's about time we move on. And now we get to talk about my all-time favorite, the Transformers movie. I swear I'm not biased. Transformers! For those of you who don't know, which is all of you, I absolutely love Transformers. Maybe a little too much. Absolutely too much. This was an absolute blast to watch since recently I started to watch G1, and that just kind of made me appreciate this movie even more. And for those of you non-Transformers fans who are wondering, G1 means the original 1984 cartoon. The more you know. Where's his balls at? But anyways, the plot of this one is that Unicron, who is the equivalent of the devil in the Transformers lore, his whole thing is that he eats planets, and he wants this thing called the Matrix of Leadership because it's the only thing that can hurt him. So he sends out Galvatron to retrieve it, and now the Autobots have to stop him. I think that pretty much sums up the whole movie. I fucking love the Transformers movie because it has to be one of the biggest middle fingers to kids movie to ever exist. This has to be one of the most cold-hearted, violent movie I have ever seen. Like, no joke, if you were just a kid back in 1986 and you were just really excited to see Optimus Prime and Megatron on the big screen, you are going to fucking hate the rest of this movie. I remember seeing an article about a kid who locked himself in his room for 2 weeks because Optimus Prime fucking flatlined, which, you know what? Yeah, relatable. I would probably do the same thing. I mean, we're talking about this movie after all. And it wasn't like this before, okay? G1 was pretty tame, okay? No one really died in that one. It was just big robots shooting colorful lasers at each other with no consequences, except giving you another reason to buy another colorful Starscream. And now we open up with a whole planet getting destroyed. It's amazing. Oh, that's no biggie. It happens in all the cartoon movies. Like, remember that time when Chase from Paw Patrol got his head blown out by a shotgun from Humdinger? For those of you who don't know about this, so the story behind it basically went like this. So the executives up in Hasbro were like, all right, so we have all these new toys that we want to sell and all these old toys that aren't selling. So why don't we just violently murder them on screen and just bring in all the new guys like nothing happened? Like, I'm pretty sure the children wouldn't mind. Murder robots besides, this has to be one of my all-time favorites. The animation in this is actually gorgeous, even if it does make the G1 cartoon look like a cheap piece of shit in comparison. Although the Transformers movie is great, it didn't do super well when it first came out. Huh, where have I heard that one before? But I still really liked it. I can feel that there was genuine love and passion put into this movie sometimes, but yeah, I think we can move on now. Transformers has to easily be one of my top 5s, and I really recommend that you go check it out since we're probably not going to get another Transformers movie for a while. Wow, thanks Paramount. Moving on now, we get to talk about another one of my favorites. Oh, I'm pulling this one out a little early. For those of you who are confused, Boney Bears is a Chinese cartoon that I talked about in a previous video. If you want to know more about it, I recommend you go check out that video. Link to it will be in the description. But in it, I brought up that there were multiple movies, and I knew I was going to do a video talking about these movies because they do this shit yearly. So today, we're going to be talking about them. Only one though. Thank God. Now, what better than their first ever theatrical release? And it just so happens to be one of my childhood favorites. Boney Bears to the rescue. Plot time. So the plot of this one is that Logger Vic and the Bears accidentally find an orphan named Lola and having to take care of her, while an evil business billionaire is trying to hunt her down because of an inheritance scheme. Like with the SpongeBob movie, I feel like this is one of those movies that just gets better with age. I absolutely love the mystery aspects of this movie. I feel like it was done really well. I don't know if that's just nostalgia talking, but I feel it, okay? In the first couple of seasons in the show, whenever Logger Vic and the Bears teamed up for an episode were the coolest parts of the show. So making the whole movie about that was a pretty good choice, not gonna lie. Although, after rewatching this for the 20th time, I was really surprised at how tame this one felt compared to future movies down the line, with them either helping out an alien, a god, or Vic's grandson while playing Careless Whisper. Not a joke. But for this being Boney Bear's first movie, this shit was alright. And others seem so too, because they did a billion more sequels, with all of them being yearly and also theatrical. Sadly, only in China. Yeah, I know. Sorry, English Boney Bear fans. But don't worry, since I was able to find an English dub, I don't know why I made it sound like a big discovery. It's on the first page. And yes, I did watch the dub version for this video, which was certainly an experience. I'm getting a little sidetracked, but I just like to say this. Anime fans, y'all got it lucky, alright? I don't want to hear shit about you guys complaining, okay? The audio for this movie was so fucking janky. Like, I can tell which voice actor showed up in the studio and which one didn't. There's these two monkey characters that originally sound like this in the show, and in the dub, I can tell that the voice actor was trying to do a King Julian impression, but doesn't know how to. And listen to this Bramble. No, that's not my Bramble. That's some imposter skinwalker shit. I'm sorry, that's so mean. Voice acting is hard. Although I do like to say that Vic's voice did kind of grew on me, and it does get better in the sequels, but don't get too attached to it because his voice actor got replaced. I guess it's just one of those cases of not appreciating what you have before it's gone. And you know what? I still miss him, but I just want to talk about this one because of how much I loved it back when I was a kid. And I also thought it would be interesting, okay? That's the truth. What do you want from me? What do you want? I'm only human. Do you ever have that one movie where you always wanted to watch but just couldn't for many reasons? Either not being able to find it, afford it, or just even allowed to. Well, Thomas and the Magic Railroad was that for me. Not because I wasn't allowed to, God no. It was just I was never able to find it as a kid. But I'm not a kid anymore, so I was able to find it. And how was it, you ask? Oh boy. So Sir Topham Hatt is currently out for a holiday, so he brings in Mr. Conductor as a replacement for the time being. Once arriving, he's stuck on the island of Sodor because he ran out of gold dust, the thing he used to travel with. And now Mr. Conductor needs to find the source of the gold dust if he ever wants to return back home. While back in the human world, Lily, who's the granddaughter of this really depressed old dude, Burnett Stone, helps out her grandpa with repairing this magical steam engine named Lady, who's basically Train God. And for some reason, the fandom always ships her with Thomas. Oh, also, while all this is happening, there's an evil Diesel who came back to kill her. You know, maybe my younger self was just better off not finding this movie. Okay, this movie is good. I thought the plot was alright. I liked the characters. I thought Dieselton was a pretty good villain. But you see, there's just like this one major issue, and it has to do with the summary I just gave earlier. Want to guess what that is? It was bad. Where the fuck is Thomas? This does not feel like a Thomas movie at all. I would instead say that this is a Mr. Conductor and Burnett Stone movie with Thomas just kind of shoved in there. Like, dude's not even a main character in his own movie. I would say that Mr. Conductor has more of a main character role in this movie. Like, dude, I came here to see Thomas, so show me Thomas. No, I didn't came here to see Alec Baldwin. Raise your hand if you want to see Alec Baldwin. Put your hands down. Plus, the stuff they chose to adapt for this movie is also really weird. Like, did you guys know that Mr. Conductor is an original character? Not as in he's an original character for this movie, but instead an original character from a show called Shining Time. That's a weird way to spell Thomas. So Shining Time was this show in the 80s that I didn't watch for this video at all, so I don't really know too much about it, but I know it's a show in the 80s and it has to do with trains in it. And what does this have to do with Thomas exactly? Well, at the end of each episode, they always play like an episode of Thomas and Friends because of some dumb localization changes for the American Thomas. What, they didn't think that Thomas could sell by himself? Did they think people would be scared of him? I mean, just look at him. Isn't he cute? How could you be scared of him? Oh God. But you know what? It is something. I just like to imagine all the Americans watching this being really surprised that they referenced it, while the audience in the UK were like, what the fuck is this? Okay, but they did have most of the main cast in it, which I'm really grateful for. Like with all the others, Thomas does have like a billion more straight to DVD sequels, but I was mostly surprised of how big this movie was compared to the others. It kind of has the same effect as the Boney Bears movie in a way, but instead of doing all the insane shit later on, they just did it now. And you know what? It worked. As much as I gave this movie shit, I honestly enjoyed this. And I could see why this is a childhood classic for a lot of people in the community. And that being said, please don't murder me, okay? I said this movie was good, all right? Please, what do you want from me? Now, the Simpsons movie. I'm really pushing my definition of cartoons. The Simpsons movie is one of those movies I remember watching like a million times as a kid, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have. So much so to the point where I can tell you the whole plot of it in an uncomfortable amount of detail. So the plot of this one is that Homer dumped a shit ton of toxic waste into Springfield. So the EPA has to come and dome everyone in. And the movie follows the Simpsons fucking off to Alaska and having to save Springfield from being turned into a national landmark. The Simpsons movie was a pretty big thing when it first came out, and I can see why. There's a lot of good character stuff I like in this one. Like, I really like the character dynamics between Homer and Bart and Homer and Marge and Homer. And it's just one of those movies where you can tell that the people behind it were just having a really great time making it. But other than that, there really isn't much to say besides I like it. But yeah, this is pretty good. I can't wait for that sequel. Okay, Pokemon. The Pokemon movie, looking back at it now, felt like this really big event when it first came out, which, you know what, I can understand because of how big Pokemon was back in the 90s.
An investigation's underway in Japan into why more than 600 children suffered from convulsions and vomiting after watching a television cartoon program.
Like with Thomas, I never really was able to watch this as a kid, so I wanted to see how big the hype was. And I know technically that this is an anime, but you know what? Shh. In this, Ash, Misty, and Brock are invited to an island where they meet Mewtwo. So his whole deal was that he was created in a lab from Mew's DNA by Team Rocket. And for some reason, they actually raised some really good existential questions in this one, which honestly, I wasn't expecting. Like, yeah, man, I don't want to hear all this life mumbo jumbo. Where's Pikachu? I want to see him fight someone. But anyways, Ash and a couple other trainers get summoned into Mewtwo's castle so that he can clone their Pokemon. Oh, and also Mew's here. He's just there. Of course, like a lot of other children's franchises, they did like a billion more sequels. And there was a Netflix remake, which I actually watched before the original. Yeah, I know, I'm lame. But looking at this now, I'm really surprised that they didn't do a movie for the new series. Say what you want about it, I just thought it was weird, okay? I'm not saying anything else, all right? But other than that, let's just move on. Last one on the list. Oh boy, I'm really excited for this one. Okay, first I want to start off with Pleasant Goat Like with Bony Bears is a Chinese show that I talked about extensively in my old cartoons video. If you want to know more about it, check it out. With that being said, goat meat's back on the menu, boys! So it starts out with the goats having a celebration of something. Then there's this really old snail who has some sort of disease, and Wesley and his friends need to travel inside the snail's body to cure it. Fucking magic school bus ass shit. But anyways, they go into the snail's body and meet Dong Dong Qiang, who has a very tragic backstory. Woo! Oh, I'm scared myself for a minute. From that, the movie kind of becomes a weird plot against two factions, the white cells and the black cells, and also a guy who wants revenge for losing his family. His name is Dong Cha Cha. He's the older brother of Du Du Qiang. So their backstory is that they lost their family because their family was exiled because their mom was a black cell and their dad was a white cell. It's just some Romeo and Juliet type shit, except these guys were a little bit more successful. Keyword a little bit. But anyways, they died one day in an accident, and now he blames both sides for his parents' death. Oh, also he has an army of yellow cells. Also, Wesley dies. No! No! But don't worry, he's alive. Oh, thank goodness. You had me worried for a second. You still have like 90 seasons left to go before you can die. But anyways, that's Pleasant Goat and Big Big Wolf, the Super Adventure. What the fuck? Is that the actual name? The movie is alright. The plot felt rushed in that it wasn't really thought out properly. Like they couldn't decide to either have a family plot or a war plot or the snail plot. And speaking of the snail, this movie is really forgettable. Like curing the snail, I almost completely forgot about that, which is pretty bad because the plot kind of revolves around the snail. But even though for all its flaws and shitty subtitles, I still really like it. I know it's the nostalgia talking, but I don't care. This movie still means something to me. I mean, it's not all bad. Like I really like the animation. It looks absolutely amazing, and I really like the characters and their dynamics, even if it is just them shitting on one guy. Looking at you, Patty, but also at the same time, hop off my fucking goat. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it. I really wanted to do a video like this where I just talk about the theatrical release cartoon movies, although I really wish I was able to talk about a couple more. But this video is long enough as it is. I've been recording since 8 and it's currently 12 right now. I am planning on making another one of these eventually, and also a separate video talking about the straight to DVD or streaming movies, also eventually. Man, I'm really bad at managing all this. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. Also, comment down below and tell me your thoughts about some of these movies, or any that you just want to recommend. Cartoon movies I feel will never not be good. Doesn't matter how old you are or how crazy the plots are. It always feels special seeing these things that I usually see on TV, now on the big screen. And with Pleasant Goat and Bony Bears, that will be the case till the day the sun explodes. Plus, it was really nice to revisit some of these, like with Pleasant Goat and Bony Bears. Speaking of which, I wonder how they're doing now. Oh, Bony Bears started to use AI thumbnails? That's my son! That's my boy!